Back in April 2013, you and I had a constructive and I think a thoughtful exchange on business tax reform versus comprehensive tax reform. And at the time, you said, and I quote, "We want to work together on tax reform on the individual side as well to make it simpler. The thing that I think we have universal agreement on is that it is just too complicated," end quote. In light of what you said 2 years ago, I certainly want to raise for you some concerns I hear regularly from constituents about the stepped-up basis and the estate tax. It's obviously no secret that we have fundamental disagreement on the level of the estate tax. I believe it is a double taxation, and you disagree with that, that's fine. A lot of us would prefer zero estate tax, and we know the administration would actually, I think, probably prefer a higher estate tax. But one thing I'm consistently finding, and certainly being told by farmers and ranchers and small business owners, is that while dealing with the estate tax is certainly challenging, it isn't anywhere near the administrative nightmare removing the allowance for stepped-up basis would cause. And so as an example, when a family passing on the agriculture land, which has been held for decades, has to calculate capital gains, the family could face multiple challenges which only begin with finding the value of land bought so long ago, determining purchase values for multiple tracts purchased in different times, and determining whether any land was sold off prior to inheritance. And so such a proposal is certainly the opposite of tax reform. In fact, it only makes compliance more difficult. Has anyone, have you or anyone at the IRS looked into what added compliance time and costs of this provision would be?
Congressman, I'm happy to get back to you on what the estimates on the compliance would be, but I think that the design of the provision that we've put in our budget was really very much to make it easier for taxpayers, not harder for taxpayers to comply with it. There's exemptions that are quite generous. There are 15 years to make the tax payments that are due so that it would not result in a forced sale. And we think that for the vast majority of assets, which are subject to stepped-up basis, things like stocks and bonds, those questions are a little bit simpler to answer. On real estate, obviously, we currently have a system where ultimately you have to know what your basis is in real estate. I don't know why it would be more complicated in stepped-up basis than it is in other contexts, but I'm happy to follow up with you.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, and the feedback I get from constituents is that it would certainly add to the complexity.